Hello everyone, I hope everyone is starting to get into the spooky season vibes, the Halloween and Samhain energies. Obviously based on my altar, I took down Mabon very quickly. I will be doing a tour of my altar here soon, but for today I wanted to talk about a spread that you could include in your ritual celebrations. So this time we have 5 cards instead of 6. I just felt like 5 was a good number for this time of the year. And the way I have my altar set up, it kind of works out pretty well. I have these two kind of more associated with Hell, the middle one for Freya, and the end two for Baldur. But it doesn't really have to be that way. That's just kind of how mine is working out this year. But the questions don't necessarily need to fall into that category. So, card number 1. What does the season have to teach me? I think it's very important to check in every season and see what lessons might be coming up, whether it's a continuation from the previous months or if it's something new. Number 2. What will be the most valuable to me? Now, depending on what card you get, it could be a variety of different things. This could be a focus on self and working on your self-esteem or self-love. It could be family or friend connections. It could be your career, or it could be routines and just different methods you use to kind of maintain your life. For that card, I feel like it's really just going to depend on what one you end up picking. Card number 3. Where can I find joy in this time of darkness? Samhain can be a very heavy time. If you really dive into the symbolism, and after you've experienced grief and you've experienced loss, those symbols get a little bit more heavy. You see the decay, you see the death, you see the loss. The images of skeletons and death and gore can be really triggering for people. And sometimes, especially for myself over the years, it's lost a lot of that magic that you had as a child, because now those things actually meant something. Those skulls could easily represent the skulls of your family members and friends who are buried in the ground now. Or it could be a reminder of a traumatic event that happened with all of the gore that's around that used to just be a fun, like, scary thing that would just spike your anxiety for funsies. And then you've gone through something very traumatic and now it reminds you of it. And the emphasis on the ancestors don't always have to be old. They can be recent, and that can still be a very fresh and open wound for a lot of people. And so with that in mind, like, this holiday can be really heavy for people. Not everyone, but a lot of us, especially again if you've gone through grief, especially recent grief. So I feel like this card was just an important one to put in here to remind us that there is joy in there, that while we're honoring our ancestors, it's still a fun holiday. You're still passing on the tradition of, like, trick-or-treating with kids, carving pumpkins, making fun foods, like watching cute little Halloween movies, maybe not like the gory horror movies, but like watching Hocus Pocus. I haven't seen the second one yet, so I don't know if it's good or not. Even like When Good Ghouls Go Bad, or just like whatever ones you grew up watching that just make you feel cozy and warm inside. And all of the wonderful decorations we can use to deck out our witchy spaces every year. Again, just finding that joy I think is something that needed to be included in here, which is kind of my emphasis with Freya. At least, again, I kind of mentioned this, but going off of my altar, Freya is going to be my reminder to look for the light and the good at this time of the year, and the fun. Then going back to some darker topics, we have card number 4. What must I cut away and lay to rest in my life? This is the final harvest. This is a good time to evaluate what isn't working. This could be shadow things that you need to be dealing with that have come to the surface. Again, this time of the year can bring up a lot of emotions, especially those of us dealing with death and grieving and loss. But it could also be different things that have happened. You could have bad habits that you want to get rid of. This is a wonderful time to start doing changes for that. So this card is just here to kind of check in and see what areas you might need to be looking at. And the last card, card number 5. What is the last of the loose ends I need to tie up for this year? For me, the new year starts at Yule, and I just have this lovely lull period from Yule until New Year's. That is my break time, and now that I am full-time doing this, it is a break. I'm not going to be recording during that time, I'm not going to be reading, I'm not going to be doing anything, but regardless, Yule is my New Year's. I still do a little thing on New Year's Day, or I guess midnight of New Year's really, but it's Yule that I do my biggest celebrations for the new year. And so this is our last major holiday until that point. Some witches, especially here in the United States, might be celebrating Thanksgiving, but a lot of us also did that at Mabon instead. And so as the harvest is coming to a close, the year is coming to a close, this is a really good time to look at those goals that you had thought about at the beginning of the year. What can you accomplish? This card will probably indicate areas of your life you need to look into. Could have been health goals, emotional goals, career goals, friendship, family, lovers, whatever. Some area of your life that you kind of have some loose ends just dangling in the distance. This is a good card to remind you to really try and finish up those things that you had set out to do for 2022 or whenever you're watching this. But for right now, for 2022, what are you going to finish up and have done by the end of the year? So anyways, I hope this has been helpful and gave you guys some ideas of a card spread that you could do for Samhain this year. Huge thank you to my patrons. I will have their names here on the screen. If you would like to support me and get access to exclusive content, it is patreon.com/nightwillowcrafts. Do make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I post every single day. And until next time, thank you so much for watching, and blessed be.